Welcome in. This is the Sweetville Slayers Season 2, Week 2 preview. But first, we're going to go ahead and check out the results of last week, Week 1. Season 2 meme build could not keep up with Keep Slaying. Sweet Phil took out all of Bale's minions. Cody B's big play slays was just not enough to overcome the wave of babies. Blizz Biggie's barrage completely missed bailing out. Can't Ban the Snowman lost to J-Con, and OnlyFins was harpooned by Rockanishu's Raiders. As of now, obviously, 50% of the teams are winning and 50% of the teams are losing. Let's go ahead and check out this week, see what we got here. So for the first matchup, Season 2 meme build goes against Blizz Biggie's Barrage. It looks like Season 2 meme build has the advantage in the quarterback situation. The wide receiver situation goes to Blizz Biggie's Barrage. It looks like the running back position may have a slight edge on the Season 2 meme build side. Tight ends, Pat Fryermuth is hurt, and he may not play, but Dallas Goedert didn't get any points last week. That should change because Dallas Goedert definitely has been targeted and been a big tight end in the past. Marquise Hollywood Brown is in the flex for Season 2 meme build, and he's virtually tied with Brandon Cooks, also in the flex position for Blizz Biggie's Barrage. On to the next one. We have Sweet Phil going against Rockanishu's Raiders. Both of these teams won last week. It looks like, at the current settings in this, that Rockanishu's Raiders has the advantage in the quarterback position. As far as wide receivers, Sweet Phil takes that at this point. In the running back position, it looks like Rockanishu's Raiders has the upper hand on this, as well as the tight end position if Travis Kelce does play. And then both have a wide receiver in the flex position, and it looks like Rockanishu's Raiders has the upper hand in that position. The overall points totals, which I forgot to mention for the first match, appear at this point to go to Rockanishu's Raiders, but we'll see because Sweet Phil had a strong showing last week. The third mashup of the week is Cody B's Big Play Slays versus Bale's Minions. Both of these teams lost last week. In the quarterback column, it looks like Bale's Minions has the upper hand. But as far as wide receivers go, he continues that. In the running backs area, it looks like Cody B's Big Play Slays has the hand, but Austin Eckler is questionable at this point. As for tight ends, Darren Waller was not very good last week, and he's questionable, but Evan Ingram was pretty good. However, Evan Ingram is going up against Kansas City, who gave up points to the tight end position last week. And in the flex spot, we have another tight end, Hunter Henry, versus James Cook of the Buffalo Bills. Now, James Cook could have a really good week, but it's at home and the weather looks to be inclement, so that's good for running backs. Hunter Henry is getting a lot of targets, in the Patriots offense, but they're going up against Miami. Miami did not do a good job against the run, but we're not sure how they're doing against pass, especially tight ends yet. The fourth matchup of the week is Can't Ban the Snowman versus Wave of Babies. Can't Ban the Snowman lost last week, and Wave of Babies won that matchup. Pardon me. Got something stuck in my throat there. When we look at the quarterbacks, it looks like Wave of Babies has the upper hand, but Deshaun Watson did surprise people last week, and Justin Herbert was not very good last week. In the wide receivers column, it looks like Wave of Babies again has the advantage. When we go down to running backs, it looks like Can't Ban the Snowman has the advantage in that category. As for tight ends, it looks like Can't Ban the Snowman has the advantage, but David Njoku is probably going to be targeted a little bit more, as Amari Cooper may be carrying an injury. And in the flex position, Can't Ban the Snowman's running with Jahmyr Gibbs, who's going up against Seattle. Seattle did an okay job stopping runs last week. However, Jahmyr Gibbs is slowly being edged into the role by Detroit, so we'll see what happens there. And then Gus Edwards is in a split backfield that's taking over J.K. Dobbins, who injured himself last week and is out for the season. Right now, it looks like Wave of Babies has the edge, but that's only a 4.3 points, so we'll see what happens with that one. The fifth matchup, Bailing Out goes against OnlyFans. Pardon me. Now in this matchup, OnlyFans lost last week, but has the points advantage right now and is the favorite over Bailing Out, who did win last week. When we look at the quarterbacks, there's not much separation, but Joe Burrow, who did not have a good week, looks to recover against Baltimore, who has a banged-up secondary this week. As for wide receivers, it appears that OnlyFans would have the bigger advantage in that. Treylon Burks did not have a good last week, and Christian Kirk does not look like the number one again in Jacksonville. Tyler Lockett didn't have a very big week last week. Jalen Waddle is carrying an injury, and Michael Pittman is coming off of a very big week, but he has a rookie quarterback who's not quite feeling well. I think that Michael Pittman might have a better week if the George comes out and is the quarterback instead of Anthony Richardson. As for running backs, it looks like on paper OnlyFans has the advantage in that situation. However, Kenneth Walker had a decent week last week, and Detroit did allow for some on-the-ground activities last week. And Breece Hall, though it says he's questionable, is actually just, I believe that's a precaution. And he really, really showed what he could do last week in a very low-scoring game against the Buffalo Bills. They are going against Dallas, though, and Dallas has a pretty good defense. They managed to shut down Saquon Barkley last week. Luke Musgrave in the tight end column versus Kyle Pitts. This could be a wash because Atlanta doesn't really throw the ball that much, or at least hasn't. And Luke Musgrave, while he's actually scheduled right now for fewer points than Kyle Pitts, could beat him out. I mean, it depends on how much he's used, and it also depends on if Christian Watson is back this week. In the flex column, there's a wide receiver going against a running back. So we have Jacoby Myers, who's actually in concussion protocol right now, so this may change and he wouldn't be in that position, versus Cam Akers, who didn't really have a big week last week, but did save it with the touchdown. He was used quite a bit. He just wasn't very functional against the Seattle defense that did a pretty good job stopping the run, at least against Cam Akers. So we'll see if he can get out of that funk this week, or if Kieran Williams is going to be taking over that position. As I said before, it does look like OnlyFins has the advantage this week, but bailing out, you never know. They won last week. They could come out and win it this week as well. And for the last matchup this week, we have J-Con versus Keep Slaying. Keep Slaying won and J-Con won last week. Right now, J-Con is a very large favorite in this one. He's scheduled for over, or projected rather, for over 100 points, which is pretty good in this format. When we look at quarterbacks, we have Justin Fields going up against Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the favorite in that category. And as far as wide receivers goes, it looks like J-Con is definitely favored in that category as well, with A.J. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, and Mike Williams going up against the CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Zay Jones, who was actually surprisingly active last week against Indianapolis, and he's going up against Kansas City, who did give up some stuff in the air last week to Amon-Ra St. Brown and the tight end Laporta. When we're looking at running backs, it looks like J-Con has the advantage in that situation as well, with Saquon Barkley and Jamal Williams. Or no, that's Javonte Williams. Sorry, I read that wrong, of Denver. Javonte looks to have a bigger role, whereas Saquon Barkley is trying to come back. Now, he should have a big game against Arizona. This is on the road, but it's in a dome, so conditions should be good for running. Bijan Robinson had a decent game last week, but he split carries with Tyler Algier, and we'll see what happens with that, because the game, they rushed a lot in that game. And Aaron Jones is carrying an injury, so we're not sure whether he's going to play against Atlanta. TJ Hawkinson is going up against Cole Kmet. It looks like TJ Hawkinson has the advantage in that. Then in the flex position, Michael Thomas is going up against Brian Robinson. And it looks like the J-Con has the advantage in that one as well. So right now, in this particular matchup, J-Con has the advantage in every category against Keep Slaying. So we'll see what happens with that. As far as this goes, it looks like should be a fairly interesting week. The biggest total disparity, it looks like, is between Cody B's Big Slays and Bale's Minions. But the second biggest one is, I was wrong about this, is J-Con versus Keep Slaying. I believe that I said that was the biggest one before, but I was wrong. The other matchups are not too far off as far as totals. The closest matchup this week, it looks like, is going to be Season 2 Meme Build against Blizz Biggie's Barrage, so that might be one to watch for. And right now, they're in 9th and 8th place, so, not that matters. They just didn't have very good points totals last week. So we'll see what happens. That about wraps it up for this week. And as Phil always says,
peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.